Hi, everybody. This is a recording for the work for your week beginning the 1st of June. This is a re-recording, a new copy because the previous copy was quite glitchy. So apologies for that. Your work for this week is a new topic called Emergency on Planet Earth. And we've got a few little tasks to do. And if you follow through with my lesson today, I'll actually help you answer some of those tasks by just listening to what I say about the tasks. You want to make sure you complete all of your tasks in the Google Doc that is titled Emergency on Planet Earth Lesson 1, and you've got to get your work in by the 5th of June. Okay, and this mini topic is going to cover a range of big global environmental problems that are affecting all of us on this planet. We're going to be looking at 4 big global problems. And the first thing I'd like to do is just have a little read of this paragraph. But the main thing that this paragraph is trying to make you aware of is that in geography, one of the key roles we have as geographers is to study the problems of our planet. Whether these are problems made by man or the activities of human beings, or whether these are just natural problems that our planet kicks up, like a hurricane, for example. What we then do when we study these problems is we then think about how these problems can affect both ourselves, human beings, as well as other things on our planet. And then where geography really comes into its own is where we then think about solutions. And geographers often consider a problem, how it's affecting people and where those people are being affected by it. And then what could we do to maybe lessen the effect or maybe get rid of the problem altogether? Sometimes it's possible to solve a problem, sometimes it's not. And all you've got to do is try to reduce the effect. So that's where comes in. This is a global issue. And the first task after you watch the video is just to using the ideas in that video. You've just got to identify 5 problems that he refers to and write a list of those 5 problems. Okay, so it's quite a simple task. Watch this video to the end. It's quite inspirational, and the presenter does have a chat about deforestation in Africa at the end of the presentation, which is one of the problems that we're thinking about in this mini topic. Okay, right. When you get on to task 2, you need to use the map above, okay? And you need to describe the pattern of 3 environmental issues shown in the map above. Now, I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and there's some specific rules about describing patterns that I'd like you to pay attention to as I describe them, and use these rules when you come to do it yourself. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just make this a little bit bigger so you can actually see the map, okay? Now, what you can see is we've got a key over here on environmental issues, and each issue has a symbol that goes with it. Okay, and if we, for example, if we picked the problem of urban air pollution, where is it a problem? We would notice that there's a lot of this symbol in this continent. But is it everywhere in this continent? Well, first of all, we've got to identify the continent. This is North America. And I notice that in North America, it's mainly on the eastern side of North America, as well as in this area of what we might call Central America. So rather than just say it's found in North America, I've actually said it's on the eastern side. I also notice it's in Europe, okay, and that it's spread across most of Europe, but with the exception maybe there's less of it in Southern Europe. I might also notice that there's huge amounts of it in Asia, right across the whole Asian continent, except in this area of Western Asia. I'll notice then it's not really found anywhere else. So that would me have described that. Similarly, let's just take a different problem. Let's say I picked the problem of drought. That's this one over here. Okay. Now, I first of all could identify that I might say it's actually not found in many continents as a severe environmental problem, that there's only really one continent where it does appear, and that's in Africa. But once again, it's not found all in Africa. So I would notice, let me just bring on the pen, that it's found in this area of Central Africa, as well as in the south, but not found in this area south of the equator, as well as the northern part of Africa in the top. So what's key when you describe a pattern is you identify a region of the world. Now, in this case, the regions of the world have been split into their continents. So we have North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, and South America. When you then identify an environmental hazard happening in a continent, you name the continent, and then you identify the area. And when you think about that, you tend to use the points of the compass. So you would use north, east, south, and west. Okay. You'll also notice that whilst there are these symbols for these, there are other environmental problems shown in colors. So you, instead of just using the symbols, you can actually refer to these colors. So for example, you could pick the browns, areas of severe risk of desertification. Is that brown color there? And we can see this central region of South America. We can see this huge areas of Asia, especially on the western side of Asia, northern part of Australia, suffering from desertification. Okay, so that is the task that you're being asked to do. The task actually asks you to do 3. So let me just reduce the size of this back to 100%. I'm just going to scroll down now. You must pick 3, either symbols or colors shaded on the map, and give me a detailed description. You're going to be marked on how good your description of where it is found is. Okay, so if you follow my instructions closely, you'll give a much better description. Right, task number 3 is a very specific little mini research task where you have to write a paragraph on 4 different problems. And you'll see in the Google Doc set up for this assignment that those I've given you the headings. Now, rather than just write a paragraph with no structure on what is global warming, what is pollution of the oceans, what's deforestation, and what's desertification, there are some very specific instructions that each paragraph has to be made up of. Okay, so you need a heading, but I've actually given you a heading in the Google Doc. You need a sentence or 2 that tells me why it is a problem. Now, to say why it is a problem, you've actually got to tell me what the problem is. So I might not know what global warming is. I don't have any idea why it's a problem. So I need to understand what this problem is and why that is a problem. Okay, and you've got to do one of these for each of them. Okay, you need at least a sentence, but of course you can have more. In that paragraph, you need a fact about it. A fact is a piece of information that is backed by something, some evidence. Okay, I should be able to, in that paragraph, see a figure to go with the fact. It could be a percentage, or it could be a place. It's got to be something that's named, a number, a statistic. In that paragraph, I would like you to refer to somewhere in the world where this is a problem, where people are being affected, and I want to know how people are being affected by this problem. Now, it doesn't just have to be people. It could be the landscape. It could be animals. It could be anything you choose. But I want to know how this problem is affecting people. And finally, I then need, at the end, at least one website that you use to get the information for that problem. Now, you've got 4 problems, so I am looking for 4 paragraphs. They don't need to be very long paragraphs. They can be quite short, as long as in each paragraph you can clearly say, yep, I've done each of these bullet points for each of my 4 paragraphs. So I have a more detailed understanding. Now, I imagine most of you probably have some idea about global warming, and you've probably all seen the videos or heard of them about pollution in the oceans. So those first 2 problems you might know a little bit about. You might have an idea about deforestation, especially from the video at the start. If you watch the video from task 1, he does talk about deforestation. Desertification, that might be completely new to you. You might not know anything about it, so you're going to be learning something about that. Once you've got your 4 paragraphs written and you've completed the other tasks, hand in your Google Doc, and you'll get some feedback at the end of the week. Okay, so good luck.